Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4. This is Around Palos, and we are at a special ribbon-cutting event welcoming ProMedica to Palos Heights. I'm going to hand over the mic to Mayor Strauss.
Good morning. Thank you for all being out here, and it's great to have ProMedica reopening. As it hasn't closed, but I mean just rebranding, I guess. And joins a staff of a stable, basically, of healthcare providers we have here in town. And for seniors, you know, we've got a great population of seniors in Palos Heights, and the need is here, and you can tell that just by the amount of people and facilities we have here. So I'd like to turn it over to Kelly and kind of give us a background on what's going on.
Thank you, Mayor. Esteemed guests and partners, thank you all for coming out on this very cold but wonderfully happy day. I'm Kelly Seeger, the administrator at Palos East, and this is Casey Hendricks, the executive director at our Arden Courts. On behalf of us, our entire staff, teams here at Palos East and Arden Courts, we are so honored to have you here and very appreciative of your ongoing support. We have changed our name from Manor Care to ProMedica Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation. You see our signs have been updated and we have new flags. And we'll begin changing our communication tools, and you will notice emails will come from @promedica.org. We will continue to be the helpful, caring, and responsive organization you've known and supported for the last 34 years, just with a new name.
Arden Courts has been a part of the community for 23 years, serving about 850 people and employing about 45. Half of our staff have been in place for 5 years or longer. A third of the staff have been a part of this community for 10 years or longer.
We will be better positioned to network with our providers and health plans to provide the right care in the right setting at the right cost and provide consumer-friendly settings for patients and residents needing our care. As a not-for-profit entity, we will be able to back our local communities and be an advocate and resource for seniors. We are the only healthcare and well-being organization in the United States that combines hospitals, physicians, senior care, and health plans. Being able to pull expertise from each of these business lines has strengthened our organization with technology, clinical expertise, and particularly as we navigate the continued COVID-19 pandemic. Our health, our mission. It's more than our tagline. We'll be developing and giving programs across the country. You will notice that we will be partnering with local organizations that help meet our mission, such as fighting food insecurity and social isolation. Social determinants of health, innovation, and healthy aging are pillars of our organization. We look forward to sharing our initiatives in these areas as they develop. Thank you again for all joining us. We wish you all a happy 2022 and ask that before you leave, you come back inside and take some breakfast and a small token of our appreciation.
All right, let's welcome ProMedica and cut the ribbon. Hey. Congratulations, ProMedica, and thank you for watching. And let's get inside for a quick interview with our staff. Thank you for watching. Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Around Palos, and we're at ProMedica's office at 7850 on College Drive, and we get a chance to meet with Kelly Seeger, who is a nursing administrator here, right, and Casey Hendricks, who's a senior administrator here, and they're going to talk to us about the office and the services they provide. So thank you both for being here. It's nice to have a minute with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for having us.
Good to have you here. Thank you.
And welcome to Palos. So how about, let's talk a little bit about your background specifically. Like I hope I said your job title correctly, but specifically, Kelly, let's start with you. What is your background in your job here?
Sure, Dave. My name is Kelly, and I am a registered nurse. My background is registered nursing. I do have a BSN. I have been with ProMedica for 15 years, and currently right now I am the nursing home administrator at the Palos East building.
Okay, good. Thank you, Kelly. And Casey?
I've been with the company 28 years in different roles in this company. I started as a chaplain in the company when we had chaplains, became a nursing home administrator, and have been on the assisted living side doing memory care for the last 21 years. I'm the senior director in our Arden Courts.
So it sounds like you both bring quite a bit of experience to this, and I'm sure an essential skill in managing a business like this. So thank you. Let's talk about that. What are some of the different services you provide? Kelly, do you want to take this?
So services that we provide on the SNF side is we provide skilled nursing services, rehabilitation. That includes occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. We also have recreation therapy, and also, we teach patients about nutrition, and really kind of get them ready for when they discharge, to make that discharge home safer.
Okay, so maybe it sounds like maybe that's the transition then. So those are some of the services you provide, some of the care you provide. How does a person go about setting that up? What would that look like from, I think you mentioned they're in the hospital. What's the next step for them?
So for us, we're in our building, we do memory care only. So we take care of anybody with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. Now, our first contact for folks is usually coming from either the hospital or from a family or from a social worker here at the building. We make that contact, find out, assess to see if they're appropriate to the building, and then we start that move-in process.
So, and that brings up a good point, the type of specific services you offer here, but you have other branches and other cares, right? So I know you have an office on Southwest Highway. So if they needed a care that you didn't provide, they could go to one of the other offices.
That is correct. In the region, we have 9 different locations, over 1,300 skilled beds available, and the locations are as far southeast as Homewood and as far northwest as Libertyville. So again, we do have 9 different locations on the skilled nursing side, and a lot of those that care that's provided at those buildings are really person-centered care. And just as Casey was saying, a lot of those communications, for services in the building will come from social workers at the hospital, from families, from calls. We do this, the company does have a central intake office where most of our referrals from the hospitals go through that central intake office.
Okay, so, and I guess for me to clarify my understanding, so most of the referrals come through the hospital, correct? But, you could get a call here directly, or somebody could stop in.
Actually, in the Arden Courts, our calls basically come from families who need memory care of some kind, who've driven by the facility, have talked to somebody word of mouth, or come from the hospitals and other places like that.
Okay, so if anybody needs care, they can make the phone call and set. Okay, thank you. Let's take a look at if a person needs care, for example, whether they're getting ready to be discharged from the hospital, or they do the drive-by, or they recognize the name was referred. How quickly does the process happen then? From the first contact, let's say.
So from the minute we get a call from somebody that says that they may need our care, our memory care advisor starts the process, talks to them, begins to help them discover if we're the appropriate place. So it's instantaneous. As soon as they call, we call back.
So immediate attention, which, and I think in that situation, somebody trying to, get help or rehab or whatever the case is, they want to get on with their life as best as they can, as quick as they can. Okay, good. How about on your website? I'm going to have to read this to make sure I'm getting it correct. It says your goal is to provide the post-hospital skilled nursing care in a comfortable environment. I'm going to tell you, it is very comfortable. I like the colors. It is very warm and inviting. But how do you go about providing that service? What does that look like?
So when a patient does come into the building, we try to get as much information from the patient or family member as possible. And each, patient comes in, they get their own person-centered care, and we try to provide that care, in settings that do make it the most comfortable for patients. Whether that be we do offer some private rooms, especially if they're coming from the hospital. It's much easier to kind of have a private room. But each kind of care plan is taking a look at the whole patient on a whole basis, not just medically, but what maybe they've done outside. Kind of what are those things that they do at home, because obviously when they go back home, we want them to be as functional as possible. So to get back to those regular things that they do when they wake up, when they go to bed, lunch meals and things like that, to kind of get that as close to possible from what they did at home, and then we can kind of mirror that with training within the center.
And that brings up, I mean, that's quite a challenge, I'm sure, because you need to tailor the care. Every person is a little bit different, or their needs are a little bit different, or what they're working through is a little bit different. So that's going to require some adaptability and flexibility on your part, right? Maybe that leads into the, I do want to talk about your staff a little bit. The ability to make that assessment and provide that, it sounds like very specialized, care for that person. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is a hallmark of the Arden Courts here in Palos Heights is longevity of staff, which we know is going to be helpful for anybody moving in. They know how to get to know people. They know how to provide the care. And in this staff, like I said, half of the staff next door have been there more than 5 years. A third of the staff have been there longer than 10 years. And we've got a couple that have been there since the doors open. I think that makes a huge difference in them doing exactly what Kelly said, providing person-centered care, really getting to know them.
Yeah, and that's a good point. The experience and that the staff is there. So there is I would think that kind of encourages or fosters a level of security and continuity, and this is how things get done, and they get done very well that way.
It does, and I think for an Arden Courts, this is where people are going to spend the rest of their life. The average stay is well over 1.5 years to 2 years at one point for us. So our caregivers know those residents just like they know their own family members. They can't maintain the same assignments all the time, so families have that comfort of knowing, today when I come in, Casey's going to be my caregiver, and Casey knows my mom or knows my dad. I think it makes a huge difference for us in our setting.
For sure, the comfort level, so that it makes it easier to work through whatever experience or rehab type experience they're dealing with. Good. How about I'm going to pull another line off your website for you. A great website, very informative, very good. I definitely recommend checking it out. It said, you provide specialized care focused on your needs, meaning the patient's interests and ability, and I think that's kind of what we've been talking about. Can you talk about specifically how you and your staff are able to work towards meeting those expectations, or the people that you've worked with in the past? How do you arrive at that?
So when a patient comes into when a patient is admitted, we do as a team, meet every day. We talk about patients, we talk about progress in therapy, we talk about background, we talk about, again, some of their likes, what do they do, at home. And it truly does take, a whole village. Here on staff here, we have nursing staff, we have physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, we have activity directors and things like that. So we really do kind of take into account and kind of want to see that whole patient. And again, that's through a lot of interdisciplinary team meetings, and especially mainly with therapy and nursing, kind of as that backbone.
Yeah, it sounds like communication is a big piece of this. It's not just this happens and now we step our way. No, we work together. We process what's happening, what needs to happen going forward. I'm getting the correct read on that.
It's a good read for it. That's exactly it. And Kelly again says it really well. It takes everybody to do it. So at Arden, we're a very small home-like setting. It's very different from everything else, and it's more comfortable. People are able to do the things they like to do. So activities are geared toward individuals, different activities at different times. We have people who just want to walk. It's designed for a lot of walking. So we really look at what that resident was doing before and what's important to them now. I think it really makes for a good facility.
I would think it sounds like it's the kind of thing that's going to lead to success. Whatever the success looks like for that person, that's how it can happen.
That's the goal.
Good. And just to clarify, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit, and then if there's anything else you want to add. We talked about this specific facility has certain services it offers. There are other ProMedica branches that offer others. Do you want to give a quick rundown of what that looks like?
So for Arden Courts, the Arden Courts are all primarily the same. There are 6 Arden Courts in Chicago, and we all do primarily the same thing the same way. I think it's different from the skilled nursing where they're doing so many things. They're so involved. Ours is pretty much the same everywhere we go. It's individualized care, really trying to figure out the resident, really trying to figure out the family and the family's needs to try and take care of them. So it's tailored to the person coming in the door.
Did you want to add to that, Kelly?
Sure, I can add to that. I think, what Casey said, is true. All of the buildings in the region some of them kind of specialize, in different areas. Whereas, if a building is close to a acute care hospital that specializes in cardiology, maybe that building will get, some additional training on cardiac care and things like that. So it's, again, very nice, not only the two buildings in Palos Heights here, but like I said earlier, we do have 9 buildings throughout the region. And again, a lot of the care, the nursing care, therapy is kind of the same, but again, some of those buildings, depending where they are geographically, may specialize in, some other areas.
And just in a person, whether they lived in Palos or they lived, in Homewood, I mean, they could go to whichever facility if they needed that specialized care. Is that?
Oh yeah, we have people come from all over who have families in the area typically, are connected to this area. Either the resident grew up in this area, lived in this area, and the family's not here, or the family is here and they're bringing mom or dad or brother or sister from wherever they're at into the community. So it's wherever they're at is where we'll meet them.
That's really impressive because you're talking about a wide range of cares for, a lot of people, and yet at the same time it sounds like you're able to personalize it and make it a very good person for that person's specific needs.
I think one of the things I've always liked about the company is that we have this wide range of care that we can offer between this building, our other facilities, and the Arden Courts. There's a lot we can, and our hospice as well. We can provide a wide range of care for people throughout the rest of their life.
Kelly, did you want to add anything? Are we missing anything? Did we cover it all?
No, I think we covered it all.
Well, Kelly, Casey, thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with us, and we wish you the best in this location, and all of them, of course. But this is wonderful. I'm Dave Wurzel. You've been watching PHTV4, and we've been at ProMedica. Thank you for watching.